Wellness Show, episode number 411.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. She's bebopping. Welcome to the Wellness Show on Health, Wealth, and Enlightenment. And this is your host, Tyhson Bannigan. It's the beginning of a brand new week. So this is your opportunity to phone in and get a mini reading because Lori Varlen is back in the house doing astral inspirations and psychic readings. So you too can have a mini reading. So it's been a wonderful weekend here. Lots of wonderful weather. Hot in paradise here. Michael's been away camping, but that's been really quite something for him. Anyway, Laura, what's happening in your life?
Beautiful here. The humidity has lifted, so now we have the windows open. So I'm excited to start this week out with Kory.
Yeah, Kory, so what's up this week?
What is up this week? Well, here's the special energy of today. We are experiencing a new moon within a couple of hours, exactly at 10:33 on the west coast of North America. We will be having the new moon in Cancer. So if we go across the United States, that will mean it'll be 11:33 for Denver, 12:33, and just moving across the time zones, it's a new moon, and the new moon in Cancer has a very special significance. Do you guys know, first of all, what new moons are all about?
New beginnings.
Yeah.
Planting seeds.
Yeah, I know. It's a very special time, especially because it's in Cancer. And Cancer is this whole dynamic of how we express our feelings and our emotions. So right there's a message to all of our listeners that for the next, I'd say 29 days, there's going to be a real emphasis on family. And even though we are still in the time of Cancer, and actually we're moving out of the time of Cancer, because as you know, Cancer starts on the summer solstice, which began on June 20th. So we're almost at the time of Leo, but we're catching this new moon right at the end of Cancer. And it's really significant, guys, because it's making a really powerful connection to the planet Saturn. And everybody seems to be afraid of Saturn. Have you guys heard about Saturn?
Yeah, it's a weird dude.
Big and expansive, right?
Oh, that's Jupiter, Laura.
Now he's a sort of a muscle guy.
Well, Saturn's kind of known as the Grim Reaper. He's kind of like Mr. Rules and Regulations.
Oh no.
And a lot of people, I tell you, when I get clients that are having their Saturn returns or Saturn transits, they just kind of like they freak out, and I just say, don't worry so much. Saturn, there's a real kindness. There's a kindness to Saturn, because Saturn really helps us see through our fears, and it really teaches us a lot about where we are, like really shortchanging ourselves, right? And everybody does that.
Mm-hmm.
You mean part of the cleanup crew?
Yeah, but Saturn gives its boon over time, so you kind of got to earn his kindness. So I think my main message for today, and it's part of the challenge that I'm giving every week now, part of the challenge is just to recognize again how far you've come, and again, not to let fear get in the way of your personal growth. Overall, this entire year of 2020 is all about taking very small incremental steps towards your goals. And so, people really need to feel that you are accomplishing what you need to accomplish. You are making headway. And it may seem like, we get slowed down at times, which of course we do. But it's a really great time to move forward.
So what about these incremental steps? It feels like it's almost like having lead boots on to make those steps at this. At least it is for me at this moment.
Yeah.
Debbie Etzel says, "Good morning. Hello, Kory. Good to see you again. You're getting a following, Kory."
Oh, and I'm really getting some very sweet invitations that are coming in over my Facebook feed, which is really lovely. So it's just nice to know that the people who need to connect will connect. And I'm really happy to be part of this crew. Laura, you're just a doll. Tyhson, you're just so deliciously magnanimous. And again, I just want to tell people this new moon is really important. I was looking up, because I'm a research astrologer, I was looking up, when did this ever happen? Because we've got the sun and the moon coming together, but it's making this opposition to the planet Saturn. So I was looking up and I couldn't find anything. I went back to about 1932 and I couldn't find this particular pattern. So we've never had this. We've never had this before. And what this pattern is just really telling us is that you have to find ways to look at the fear that you're carrying and to see it as a friend, because Saturn strips you down. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to take you down to the bare bones. That's why Saturn rules our physical structure. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and if you look at any Capricorns, they almost have sort of like bony, a lot of very strong bony prominence in their facial features. Capricorns tend to be more on the slim side, as opposed to Tauruses. We tend to be more plumpish, more Rubenesque. But the Capricorn energy is about, let's get down to the bare bones. So yeah, so I'm just going to tell you that there's going to be a lot of sensitivity, especially today. People probably will be feeling a little bit hurt and neglected and left out, and that's okay, because what I challenge you to look at is what's your part in all of this.
Okay.
You know, how have you been neglecting people? How have you been sort of alienating people? Because that's part of the deal. That's the other side of the seesaw, right?
That's a good point. During COVID though, don't we get like at least some kind of a leeway, because we're not supposed to be so close.
Well, it makes a great excuse for the fact that you're feeling neglected and left out. But there are things called phones,
Oh yeah.
cell phones, Zoom, Skype. So I don't buy that anymore. I say again, like, don't call me up for a session if you don't want the truth. We have got a lot of tools at our disposal now for our enlightenment. I mean, look at us, we're giving free readings. There's so much information out there. There's no reason anymore for people to be ignorant and stupid. We have access to the world's libraries online. Do you know people used to have to go to universities because they all had the best libraries, right? That's why you'd go to university. But now everything's online. I mean, you can actually take courses from MIT for free. It's all online. So anyways, guys, what I'm just trying to say is that there's really long-term consequences for what we're doing. And there's something really special about today, which involves, again, how we neglect other people in our lives and kind of cry, poor me. So I'm just saying enough of that. I mean, that is just, forget this. This is just BS. Start taking responsibility for your feelings of isolation and sensitivity. And, drop the poor me. That's not going to work anymore.
Did you say something about self-judgment at the beginning? Is that what I heard you say?
A lot of that, yes, because a lot of that is because we don't feel like we've actually done much with our lives. We haven't really actualized ourselves. And to some extent, that's true. To a lot of extent, people have been sitting back on their duffs, letting the rest of the world carry the load. And that's just not going to work anymore. We're not going to survive as a species if we keep doing this. And so today, with this new moon structure aligning with Saturn and also Pluto, it's just saying it's really time to share our dreams with other people. It's, first of all, it's just time to get on board with other people, to come out of our little cocoons, The Cancer energy is very like, oh, I just want a blankie and a hot cup of cocoa.
Yeah, I'll go for that. Yeah.
But we can't do that anymore.
Oh, come on now.
That's not working.
So this is get off your duff day.
Yeah, and it's call a friend, call a loved one, call an acquaintance, just say, hey, I haven't been avoiding you, have I? And if I have, I'm really sorry. Today is a great day to say you're sorry. In fact, I phone up 5 people and tell them that you're sorry for something. Because all of us have something that we're sorry about that we haven't shared with a friend or a loved one. So today is a great day to do that.
Well, it's a good thing I got friends coming today. Then I don't have to phone them. They're just going to show up.
How about if I just say this? I'm sorry, Tyson. I'm sorry, Kory. There, I got 2 down.
Yeah.
No,
That's
you have to say what you're sorry for,
That's
and you
right.
have to be sure that they acknowledge it.
That'll
Okay.
take a long time, Lori. We don't have time on this show.
Oh, Tyson, you're so funny.
Yeah. Well, I guess we better open up the lines, right?
Yeah.
I mean, be brave. Yeah, get your cage rattled. See if you can
Be
get
brave,
off your duff.
be brave. And again, the challenge overall, if I had to say what the challenge would be this week, is just to share your dreams. Share your dreams with other people.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the key. Share your dreams.
Well, now,
Just that will give you inspiration to get off your duff. If you share your dreams, then a lot of our dreams are very, very private, right? But when we share them, then we sort of making a commitment because other people know our dreams, right? So it's sort of like the turtle putting its head out of its shell. Yeah. I don't know.
Because it creates this incredible momentum when you share. When you're sharing, you're basically saying, hey, I stand for this, and I'm going to be accountable. I think that's the big, A
the
for accountability. I think that's the key that's probably part of the key of what we're talking about here, is to be accountable. That's when, because a good apology is all about accountability, right?
Yeah, I think the big accountability for me to have to deal with is accountability to myself.
Yes.
And that's a huge one that I have to stay out of overwhelm and don't beat myself up, because of the list of things I have to, don't have to do, but I've created for myself, or because I think they're important, is overwhelming. So accountability to the self is, having some compassion for myself, right?
Yeah, and to kind of let yourself out of prison. A lot of people, feel like they're locked inside with, I should have, I could have, I would have.
Yeah, bad, rotten, and wrong.
And that just puts you in the hole, literally. Like you get sentenced to, 40 days in the hole. Solid confinement, yeah.
So phone a friend. Let me out of here. Let me out of here. Here's my dreams. All right, the lines are open. Be brave. Phone in 1-866-369-7464 and got a reading. Get yourself on track of the new moon. This is your opportunity to plant some seeds, new beginnings, new growth, new stars to reach. Sounds great to me.
So what kind of readings are we doing today, Kory?
Well, I don't call them readings. I don't do readings. I have conversations with my clients, and whoever calls in here, I'm happy to have a conversation with them.
Okay.
What I'm always thrilled to do, of course, is to tell people what their sun moon alignment is. That's key for me. I find that invaluable. People love to know that. They need to know. They need to know the cycle of the moon they're born under. So are you a new moon baby? Are you a full moon baby? Are you born in the last quarter, the first quarter? But what I'm happy to do is to share what I call the evolutionary journey of someone, so that, for instance, remember when Michael called in last week and I was telling him about where he was in his evolutionary journey?
Yeah.
Here's Darlene. Darlene can't resist. It's the first one through the gate. Hi, Darlene.
Yeah, good morning, you guys.
How are you doing? Are you still camping?
On the beach in the sunshine. Yeah, pretty nice. I was wondering if I could have a reading, please.
No, she's not do readings. Sorry.
Well.
Conversation.
She does conversations, though.
Conversation. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So first thing is you're going to need to say your name 3 times.
Darlene, Susan, Turner, Darlene, Susan, Turner.
Lovely, Darlene. Darlene, when's your birthday?
January 20th, 67.
January 20th, 1967. And what time were you born?
And this one I have to call into the hospital for sure, but I believe it's about 7 a.m.
All right. And where were you born, Darlene?
Assiniboia, Saskatchewan.
Oh, a Canadian.
Mhm.
A Canadian.
Is that Assinaboine?
Boia, Assiniboia.
Boia?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You want to share your screen when you're ready?
Well, I can't find it in my particular atlas here. What's the closest?
Moose Jaw would be the closest. It's south of Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw,
Moose Jaw. Okay, hang on a second here.
Saskatchewan.
I'm just going to use another program. Sometimes if I don't get the city right, it'll throw me out of the computer. So give me the date again, Darlene. Sorry, the date of your birth.
January 20th, 1967.
1967. And you said it was 7 a.m. Yeah, we'll use Moose Jaw.
Nothing more Canadian than Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Right.
Is that like a city, Moose Jaw?
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of moose dropping their jaws everywhere.
There was tunnels all underground. The gangster, whatever his name was, that bootleg booze had, when Moose Jaw was one of his main Canadian stops. So underneath the city, there's tunnels all over, and you pop up at this bar or that bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tunnels.
Yeah.
And are they still used?
No. They have sort of a display or a tour you can go on and experience it.
Yeah, booze is legal in Canada now, so we don't have to have the underground.
Yeah, but heroin's not. Maybe we could run some of that through there.
Perish the thought.
So Darlene,
old bootlegging days of Al Capone and whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah, Al Capone, that's his name.
That's Al Capone, yeah.
So Darlene, for the time of your birth, on the 20th of January, 1967, let me just show this. Just trying to share my screen here with you. So you can't see the screen, can you?
No, not yet.
No,
Okay.
I'll go back.
We can't see the
No, that's okay. So what I'm going to tell you is you were born at the very last, like within the last hours of the time of Capricorn. So the sun degree in your chart is right at the very end of Capricorn. You're like a 29-degree Capricorn. So we could almost say you're an Aquarian, and you have your moon like Laura in Taurus. So what this means, my dear, is you were born in the first quarter of the moon phase, which means you are a crisis-oriented woman.
Is she the crisis or putting out the crisis?
Well, it just means she attracts a lot of crisis into her life.
Oh no.
But you can handle it because you're built to handle it. You can.
I feel like I'm moving past that phase. I've had a lot of crises in my life, but on the other side, I hope.
Well, when I think about it, maybe it's the crisis that you're attracting in your clients. You're certainly clearing crisis after crisis after crisis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the queen of clearing crises.
A good way to
Well,
channel.
well, Darlene, one of the beauties of having the particular angle in your chart that you have is that you are able to really help a lot of people because you recognize the shall we say the inconsistencies of life. It's part of just the way you're born. It's that natural alignment that you carry because you're born in the first quarter of the moon, and so you are extremely good in crises. Like like I would just tell you that you would be attracted to professions where it calls upon fast reflexes and the ability to organize a lot of data very quickly because you can handle that kind of stuff.
Oh. I feel like I've had experience in it, that's for sure, in kind of all different ways.
Yeah, and you're also born at the time when you have the planet Jupiter right across from the sun degree in your chart, which just gives you this wonderful, huge helping. You have big appetite. You have a big appetite for life. The Jupiter Sun opposition just gives you a real love of knowledge and experience, and it just makes you a big person. Like you just want to really grab life, you know.
Hmm.
Do you find yourself grabbing life?
Absolutely, I'm doing it right now. We've been camping all weekend and laying on in the lake, and yeah, we just as part of our life is just exploring and yeah, enjoying.
So about 40 months ago, you made some important changes in your life, didn't you? About 40 months ago.
Wow, how many? Is that a few years?
Well, 40 months, divide by 12, what do you get?
4 years, I guess. Eh?
Well, about 3.5 years ago. 3.5 years ago, you started a new evolutionary cycle. That
It's been perfect. I think that's about close to when I met Michael, and yeah, ended. Yeah, I can totally see that.
lovely. Well, it's just it's the new cycle that you entered, and it's been really picking up speed, I'd say, in the last year, in the last 12 months. So really some lovely things have been happening in your life in the last year. If we go back about 12 months, you can start to see how I think your whole value system has changed about how you value yourself. So yeah, you're in a good cycle. You're in a good cycle for the next 2 years to really ground yourself. So you're going to find your whole sense of what's real is really going to take shape very quickly in the next 2 years, and you're already experiencing it now. So thanks for calling in, Darlene.
Oh, thank you so much for the conversation.
So Darlene, there's all sorts of light flashing across Kory's back of her, and there's a rainbow beam that keeps appearing and reappearing. I don't know what that's all about, but anyway, the stars are with you. And
Good.
Thanks.
All right.
Going on back there.
Thanks, guys. Have a lovely morning.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah.
So Eduardo would like a conversation with you, Kory. Can you unmute him, Ty?
Sure.
Thanks.
Let's go find him.
Kory.
All right, Eduardo, you're allowed to talk.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your birthday, Eduardo?
December 16th, 1969.
December the 16th,
69.
And what time were you born?
I happen to have my birth certificate here. It's 8:34 p.m.
Lovely. And where were you born?
in UCLA Hospital, so that's Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, the city of angels.
And I happen to be a twin, an identical twin brother. I was born 11 minutes before, if that makes a difference.
No, as long as I have your birth time, I don't care if you're a triplet.
Wonderful.
Okay. So let's see what we have here. 25 Sagittarius. Pisces. And like Darlene, you were also born in the first quarter, Eduardo. So you carry a similar pattern for being able to deal with emergencies and being able to think on your feet. In fact, you think on your feet really, really fast because you are a Sagittarian, which is a fire sign, and your moon is in Aries, which is also a fire sign. So you have a lot of fire. Plus, you have a Leo ascendant. My Lord, you are one man on fire.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
February, I just started helping people as an intuitive life coach. So that's still kind of something I'm working through.
Lovely. Yeah. Well, yeah. What I would tell you, Eduardo, is don't get caught up in the details, okay? When you're working as an intuitive life coach or an empath, sometimes you have to be, I would just say for you, it's really important that you really trust in your Sagittarians really need to know this. And Tyson can tell you about this. It's really important when you're a Sagittarian or you have energy in Sagittarius to really trust your gut. Sagittarians don't process information that well, but they really are, they're very prophetic people. And if you just trust your instincts, you'll be fine. You have a tendency to doubt yourself because you want all the facts, right? You're a very detail oriented person.
Oh, absolutely. I have a background in mathematics and science, but I went away from that. It's interesting.
Good,
Yeah.
because your karmic pattern, from what I can see, just tells me that you have had lifetimes in the fields of health and science, surgery. I mean, you're a technocrat, from Atlantean times. But your mission in this lifetime, if you choose to accept it, and it looks like you have chosen to accept it, is to be an empath and a healer. That's the story I'm getting. And let me just see where you are in your evolutionary dance. My computer is giving me a little bit of background issues right now. So what have you just started up since May? Because it looks like you've been on a new path since May.
Well, April was when I learned my life purpose, the first phase of it, and that's when I accepted it. February was when I met Tyson, and he gave me the deep clearing protocol, which grounded me. And I've learned so much from Laura and Tyson's conversations through osmosis.
Yes, that's a great way to learn. And can you relate to the challenge that I put out there this morning?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. On different levels, spiritual and in the body.
Okay. Okay, now I've just updated your chart, Eduardo. You are in the dark, of the moon phase in terms of your evolutionary growth, and you'll be coming out of this in exactly 7 months. So don't be surprised if things continue to fall away, because that's the cycle you've been in for about the last 2 years. You're being stripped down, my friend. You're being stripped down to the bare bones, and things will continue to fall away as you move deeper into the very last stages of this cycle. You're basically ending a 28-year cycle, Eduardo.
Wow.
So if you go back in your life about 28 years, you'll see this. You'll see how, your life has really taken you through the particular journey you're on, and now this new journey is starting. But you're going to be reborn. You're literally going to be reborn in about 6-7 months as you emerge out of the cocoon.
Thank you so much. It totally resonates. About 28 years ago, that's when I was in the middle of a failed marriage, and it took me a while to get out of it. I've mentioned this before, and I have to be coming out of. I've been bedridden since 2012 December, and I just started coming out of it in January of this year. Undiagnosed muscular, who knows what kind of condition? Who the hell cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm just going forward.
Lovely. No, that makes total sense. Yeah, just makes total sense. And I do see that there has been a real gift. You have had a real gift given to you in the last, like in the last 3 weeks, something has really opened up inside of you.
It's self-belief. I put the little message before self-belief and trust. That's where I was kind of lacking, the self-belief in myself and with my higher self, my true self.
Yeah.
It's just letting myself be guided.
Right. And I'll give you a prediction because you have an accurate time anyone that's got a really accurate time of birth gets wonderful readings, readings/conversations from me because I can use all my tools in my toolbox. And
Beautiful.
I've got thousands of them. And I can also tell you, Eduardo, that your life is going to, I mean, we have to be talking in the next couple of years. Please stay in touch because I just see your life blossoming. You're actually going to become quite famous in about 3 years. If you keep on the path you're on, you'll be famous in 3 years. You'll be famous for what you do in 3 years.
Way to go.
My story has already started opening eyes, and I'm currently writing a book of poetry, which I started 2 weeks ago. I'm on the 39th poem. That's how my story is coming out in poem. I don't seek it, but I'm ready to take on, take on my life purpose in the service of others.
Lovely. Well, 16 years ago, you entered a seed was planted 16 years ago, and it's going to be bearing fruit in the next 2-3 years. Thanks for calling in, Eduardo.
Blessings. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, the lines are now open, 1-866-369-7464, and come and have your non-reading, but assessment or discovery or journey or revealing. You too can. So talk a little bit more, Kory, if you wouldn't mind, about moon phase. Like we're in the new moon, which is for sort of like for all of us, right? We're all entering this new moon phase, but according to our own charts, wherever our moon is, we have to treat it differently. If I understand what you were telling us before, like we all have different moon cycles. Is that correct? Oh, you can't continue. Saved by the bell.
Well, I'm happy to talk about that, Tyhson.
All righty, here you are. Welcome to the Wellness Show. Who are we talking to?
Oh, good morning. This is Sherry.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you ready for your reading?
I'd like to ask her a question, please.
All righty.
Well, her has a name. Sherry.
Sherry Catlin.
Yeah, and so you'd like to ask Kory something, right?
Right.
All right.
When's your birthday, Sherry?
Yeah, when's your birthday?
1/27/44.
So that's the 27th of January. What year?
1944.
Okay, you're a war baby.
A what kind of baby?
War.
Baby.
Oh, okay.
You're 1 year older than me.
Really? It's good age to be, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and the time and the place, please, Sherry.
6:05 a.m. in Portage, Wisconsin.
How do you know that time? 6:05.
Because it's on my birth certificate.
Lovely. And where were you born again? What's the place?
1/27/1944. Oh, the place?
Not your address.
Portage, Wisconsin.
Portage, Wisconsin. I see it here. Portage, Wisconsin. All right. Sherry, you were born in the new moon. You are a 6-degree Aquarian and your moon is at 2 degrees Pisces, which means that you were born one day after the new moon. So you, my darling, are in your power phase. So now, Tyhson, this answers your query that you just wanted to talk about before Sherry called in. So Sherry is a great example here. She's born in the new moon and we're having a new moon. So she gets like this double whammy, and she never even has to worry about figuring out her power cycle every month, because when there's a new moon, Sherry's hot. She's on. That's how it works. So Sherry, all you have to do is figure out the new moon every month, and we're having one right now. So you would count the day before, you would actually count the day before and the day of the new moon and the day after. And those are your 3 power days every month. You got it? Hello?
Still there? We can't hear you, Tyson. You're on mute. So that
She
means-
got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So how are you feeling today? Because you're in your power cycle today.
Well, I'm feeling fine, but I was just wondering what changes we may have in our household.
Well, I'm not going to answer that type of a question because that's too vague.
Okay.
I don't do those kind of I don't cover those kind of topics. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and I'm interested in how you're doing evolutionary wise and what you're bringing to the table. I don't really do psychic readings because I'm not interested in that. What I
Okay.
what I can tell you is what I just told you, which should be very helpful for you because you can plot your cycles for the rest of your life, knowing what I've just told you. What I will tell you right now is you have begun a new exploratory phase in your life in the last 12 months. So if you look back about 12 months ago, Sherry, can you see some changes that you've made that's sort of opening up new horizons for yourself?
Yeah, I've gotten more spirituous, I believe.
Good. Well, I want to continue, and I hope you continue in that vein, because about 12 months ago, you entered a new path that's about exploring and opening yourself up to important new growth patterns. And something would have happened about, I'd say about 8, 9 months ago that should have been like
Yeah.
a doorway you walked through.
Okay, I know what that is.
Good. And something happened about 6 months ago that really woke you up.
A lot of things are waking me up.
Yeah, wakey, wakey, my darling. That's the kind of period you're in your life. And also, what happened 22 years ago? You started a very important turnabout about 22 years ago. So that'd be 1998.
I probably started buying some businesses in 1998.
Yeah, good. Well, I sometimes don't know exactly what people are up to, but I know when they have to get up to doing stuff. That's the important work that I do for people, is I help you see the significance of the time period you're in. Most people have no clue, what's going on in their life in terms of, like, everybody wants to know, what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, astrologers can tell you. I can tell you what it means. And so many times we trivialize, we totally just, we don't see the value. We don't see the value of our lives. I really want to stress that for everybody listening today. That word is a key word for all of us today. So Laura, Tyson, everyone listening, think about the word value and what you can do with that today and how you can play with that energy in terms of your life. Like, think about the value you're giving, the value you're giving to the world, the value you're giving to yourself. So Sherry, give yourself value, give yourself credit for who you are and what you've accomplished, because you have accomplished a hell of a lot in the last year.
That's awesome.
And just to let you know, there's big changes afoot in your house. So
That's
I
good.
mean, Laura, do you want to add anything to Sherry's my little conversation here with Sherry? Because you do kind of psychic work, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Is there something you can add to
Yeah.
Sherry?
So she wants to know if there's anything coming up, big changes coming up, and Tyson just answered it, and he said yes, there is, and I will agree. Big changes coming up,
Yeah,
and
particularly in your house that you were thinking about. All right, we have another caller coming in, and let me just see.
Thanks, Sherry. Thanks for calling in.
we also
Thank
have
you.
on
Okay.
the participant
Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to the Wellness Show.
wants a reading.
Hello, this is Ozge.
Hi, Oskay, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. All right, so there's this beautiful lady who's gonna ask you some questions.
Okay. Do you want my birth date and time?
Oh, I don't want it. I need it, darling.
So it's February 3rd, 1976. The time is 12:50 p.m.
And how do you know that?
My mom told me. I don't have my birth certificate. I don't have a document saying exactly what time it is, but she says she's pretty sure it's around that time.
All right. And where were you born?
And I was born in Ankara, Turkey. Ankara, Turkey.
Right. We've connected on Facebook, haven't we?
Yes. We met before, and I try to follow the wellness show, and I like your predictions, and I would love to hear about my chart.
Right. Well, Oski, what I can tell you, and you probably know this, you were born in the new moon, just like the last caller,
Yes,
Sherry.
I know that.
Yeah, you have a 13-degree Aquarius sun. Your moon is at 19 degrees of Pisces, which means that you were born in the first two and a half days of the new moon. So we're in the new moon right now. So again, like our previous caller, you're getting, and maybe that's why you got through to the show. You know, you're having your power time. So every new moon for you is going to be significant. Every
I
new
don't know.
moon.
Yesterday was too strong for me. I had some ups and downs. Today I feel so much better.
Yeah. Well, what I would tell you is to count one day forward from the new moon, and that's actually when your power cycle starts. So it isn't so much today as tomorrow. So I would just have you look at tomorrow would be day 1, and then you get 3 days, right? So start tomorrow. That would be your first day, and then you get 2 days after that. And that will be the cycle for the rest of your life because you're born in that particular new moon phase.
Okay.
I can feel the wheels grinding as you figure this all out.
So, Oski, one of the things I would tell you about your chart, I don't know if you know this, but do you know what makes you happy? Tell me what makes you happy, and then I'll tell you what I think makes you happy.
I didn't get it. Was it a question?
Yeah, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy? Making the world a better place makes me happy.
Did you hear that, Kory?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
One of the things that I can see about your chart is that you have a real love of knowledge and information. You have been a teacher. You've been a teacher in many lifetimes.
Yeah, I like researching and learning new things, and I feel like knowledge is power. So
Exactly.
I like learning new things and teaching them to other people.
Yeah, so that's what I would, just say that's your profile. That's what I'm seeing. I can tell anybody what makes you happy. And for a lot of people, it's you know, when I share what I see, it really resonates. And for you, it has to be based around information and knowledge because that's just who you are. And especially what we would call, you know, the secret societies and the esoteric levels of
Yeah, I
knowledge.
like
That, oh
secret
my God, that is just you,
things.
Valen. That is you. Yeah. You
Good.
are one of these
I
revealers
like
of
to
the
learn all the
mystery.
secrets behind everything. I would want to read all the frequencies and all the root causes of stuff. So since I was a child, I was like very curious about those things, and I always asked why,
Yeah.
how the
Yeah.
things work.
Yeah. Well,
So I
isn't,
like figuring
isn't
those
that,
things out.
Tyson, isn't that just what I said?
Yeah, absolutely. Just one precautionary note is you get overwhelmed by it also. Don't forget
Yeah.
that you have the amazing intuitive ability if you allow yourself once in a while to be on cruise control.
Hmm.
And Oski, what I would mention is about 2 years ago, an opportunity must have come into your life about 2, 3 years ago that has given you a new structure to your life, a new base to your life. And I hope,
Yeah, a lot of things changed in the last 2, 3 years.
yeah, and I hope that you follow through because it's been a very significant shift for you in the last 2, 3 years. And whatever has happened in the last, and whatever has happened in the last month has really woken you up.
Last month. Okay.
Yeah. Just look in your life and look what's been happening in the last month. I'd say month to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
do that last month.
Yeah,
6 weeks?
last month to 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Last month to 6 weeks.
Okay. We have another listener on Zoom who would like a reading too.
Anyways, Oski, I'm going to just share one more thing with you and then I'll leave you for the next caller. In about the last 6, 7 months, you have started a very fast flowing current that's now moving through your life. And this started about 7 months ago, and something should have happened in the last 4 to 6 weeks that's really put you on notice that you are moving forward. And yeah, stuff has really been moving fast in this stream. You're now journeying through. So just keep moving with the flow.
Uh-huh.
All right. Thank you ever so much for phoning in.
Thanks,
we have
Oski.
Yeah,
one.
thank you so much.
Take care.
I'll keep listening.
All right. Thank you
Bye-bye.
for listening to Wellness Show. We have a call on hold, but you have somebody else, Laura, that you wanted that's ready?
Yvonne's been waiting for a reading on Zoom.
All right. Let me just go find her. All right. There you are, Yvonne. Welcome to the Wellness Show.
Thank you. Hi, Kory.
Hi, Yvonne. When were you born?
So my name is Yvonne Marie Doberton, and I was born March 27th, 1972.
You're coming in nice and clear. March 27th, 1972?
Yes,
Oh, I love that year. What time were you born?
3:02 p.m.
Oh, I love it. I love it when people have these right on times of birth. How do you know that, Yvonne? How do you know your time of birth?
It's on my birth certificate.
Fabulous. And where were you born?
Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Stevens Point. There we are. I found you. Stevens Point, Wisconsin. All right. So you are a 7-degree Aries and you have a moon in Virgo. Your moon is at 15 degrees of Virgo and you have a Virgo ascendant, which means you were born just before the full moon. So your power cycle, your power cycle happens just before the full moon every month.
Okay.
So if you wonder why you go crazy on the full moon, it's because you were born one day before the full moon. So your power cycle starts one day before the full moon.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so you find the full moon and you step back one day, but I want you to step back one more day because that will be the beginning of your power cycle. You got it?
Okay.
So basically, you take the full moon and you go back 2 days,
Okay.
and then you have the next 3 days, which is your power cycle every month. That's when you get what you want.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's just take a look. My astrology program, I think I need to burp it or something. I don't know.
A little congested, is it?
I think maybe it had too much. Maybe it had too much to eat and drink last night. We were celebrating here in Canada yesterday. So anyways, Laura, why don't you give Yvonne a little bit of your psychic sensationalism while I just try to fix my astrology program here.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Yvonne?
I was more focused on my current career path and where I'm heading right now.
Well, you have big changes coming up. Oh, Tyhson, we can't hear you. Oh, he put himself on hold. Never mind. So you're going to go from one job into another one with relative ease. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What was the question? Sorry, I had to answer the phone.
That's okay. Yvonne, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, so I thought I heard someone say I can't hear you. Do you have anything for her, Kory?
Yeah, I do. Yvonne, what have you been doing since let me just get the numbers here. For an astrologer, I'm really terrible at math, believe it or not. Thank God for computer programs. I used to actually, back in the 70s, that's how old I am. Back in the 70s, when I used to teach this stuff, I had to use logarithms.
Oh my
Tyhson,
goodness.
hello, logarithms?
Oh no, thank you. No, that's too scary.
Oh man, I tell you, I used to sweat over those. Thank God I got into computers really quickly. I have a moon in Aquarius, so I got into technology as soon as I still count on my fingers. Ridiculous.
Yeah, me too. No more slide rules for this kid.
Okay, Yvonne, I want to know what happened to you. This is really important because I don't really call them predictions, but when I talk about cycles, because we're all like radios, and if you can't, a lot of us cannot, capture certain frequencies. So if I'm looking at a particular tool that I'm using and you can't kind of use that tool, then I can't, well, anyways, I can't use that tool. So I'm trying to figure out if you're sensitive to a certain particular pattern here. So 10. So what happened about 15 months ago in your life, Yvonne, connected to your work?
15 months ago. I got a promotion into a new role, approximately that time frame.
Yeah, around that time frame. Okay.
Mhm.
So what's your query? Is your query related to that promotion and what you're doing?
More or less what I'm doing right now. So right now I'm more focused on project-based activity and like managing projects, but also very much into the details. And I just would like to know if I'm going to be progressing into something at a higher level or not.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm seeing in about 7 months, 7 to 8 months. Actually, I'm seeing some kind of a break in your work in about 7 months. About
Okay.
6, 7 months, some project will come to an end.
Okay.
And then there'll be a new project at a higher executive level for
Okay.
you in about 8 to 9 months. Absolutely. Really good stuff.
I could say hang on to where you are now. You don't resonate with it very well, but you know, if Kory is right, and I'm sure she is, then hang in there because it's going to get much better.
Okay, good.
And also, Yvonne, what you need to know is that you are in a brand new evolutionary cycle that started let me see here. It would have started almost 4 years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you've been really kicking ass in the last 4 years, my dear. You've been really pushing out energy, and I just love where you're going. You are headed for the top. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Now remember us on the way up, please.
Have
All
a
right.
great day. Have a great day, Yvonne.
All right,
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, and I think we're almost at the end, aren't we? I'm getting like
Oh.
9:56. So can we just maybe?
There's one more.
Oh well, we should
No?
make this because I would like to make sort of a closing statement because
All right. So
you know,
Jan, you're gonna have to come back next week.
yeah, just
All right, go for it. Sorry.
no. I just wanted to say that it's just really important. It's just really important that that people challenge themselves to move on. You know, and to understand that there's really nothing to fear except fear itself. Do you guys, I don't know, I forget whoever said this, but there is an acronym for fear, FEAR. Do you know what, has anyone heard of this? FEAR, what that stands for?
Yeah, I think it's something that appears real. False evidence that appears real.
Exactly.
that's it.
False evidence appearing real. That's what fear is.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to really just wrap up today's session with, and again, throughout the challenge for everyone listening, it's time to come out of our little prison cells. It's time to let go of the fear. It's time to connect with people. And again, I'm just wrapping up. I'm an ex-teacher, so forgive me, but I have to summarize the lesson for today, class. Really start to value yourself. That's one of the key words for today, value. Value yourself. Because if you don't, no one else is gonna.
Well, I think that's great. I think there's so much judgment going on, right, left, and center, both personally and culturally and politically, and God knows every level. That, you know, loving ourselves is a great place to start.
Yeah, and don't get caught up in all these little petty bullshit, things that we all get caught up with. Like, see the big picture. I keep telling this to everybody. You have to see the big picture. You have to see where you're going, where you're headed. Don't get caught up in the minutia of your life. Go for that one big goal. I talked about this last week. Find one goal and just go for it. Like, don't get carried away and don't, blow yourself to smithereens because you're not, accomplishing all the other things you say is on your hit list.
That's right.
Get one goal and go for it. Just give yourself
If they're huge goals like mine, just steady, one step at a time.
And that's the entire energy pattern we're in for 2020. It's slow but continual progress moving forward.
And then one other thing I'd just like to throw out is that there's so much controversy, then people want to take sides. Just try not to take sides. There's no need to take a side, right? Just we're all one, believe it or not. And when you take a side, somebody has to be right and somebody has to be wrong.
And what I always encourage people to do is look at both sides. Like, take the other person's point of view. That's extremely liberating, like, challenge yourself to let go of your prejudices and just go, well, let me just, like, what would life be like in that person's shoes? How, whatever you're thinking politically or, sociologically, just take the other person's point of view, walk in their shoes and give them the benefit of the doubt, and then agree, and then hug it out at the end.
What a great way to end the show. Hug it out.
Hug it out.
And don't forget to phone your mom or your friends or somebody.
Right.
Your mom. Yes.
All right, everybody.
In a while.
Thank you, Kory.
You're welcome, my friends. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Monday.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.